first violins. This is the discussion video for the Allegro con brio from Symphony No. 5 by Beethoven. I've made kind of lists of what I want to talk about in each video because I have 15 discussion videos to make today, and I hope that these little notes that I've written out will make things run a little bit more smoothly. So, that being said, let's settle in. It probably won't be that long. The most important thing about this piece is the key, the tonality, minor. In this case, D minor. Meaning, I'm just like reading straight off this. If any F's, C's, or B's are played incorrectly, the tonality of the piece is thrown off. So this is, right in measure 2, not measure 1. Measure 2 is F natural. All F's and C's are natural in this piece unless otherwise marked, which there are plenty of times when they are otherwise marked. Remember that F natural and C natural are low 2. That means that your second finger is back here close to your first finger. If this is high 2, I hope, if this is high 2, low 2 is not somewhere slightly behind the tape. It's actually way back here by your first finger. So make sure that low 2 is correct. It is low enough. Also, the key of D minor has B flat in it. That means for your high B flat, it's kind of hard using high and low terminology for fingers and pitches. Pitches in space, because you've got a high B flat on your A string, and then I think you might, no, never mind. As first violins, I don't think you ever play the low B flat. If you do, low B flat is your second finger on the G string. You guys mostly have to deal with first finger on the A string and also a low fourth finger, I believe. Yeah, you've got a high, super high B flat. That is your low fourth finger on the E string. So make sure that B flats are correct. But then in measure 53, you have a super high B natural. So that is your fourth finger way up there on the tape. The passage from 38 to 56 is riddled with accidentals. So practice it slowly. Practice it super slowly. Go through and make sure that if you write the letters, if you write note names around the notes to help you learn the notes, that you have written flat or natural or sharp next to those letters, so that you don't just see B and then you play B natural because it just says B, but it's actually B flat. So I want you guys to really get in the habit of writing all of the musical information beside that letter that you write down. It's totally fine to be reading letter names right now if that's what you need, but you also need to be reading the accidentals, so flats and sharps and naturals. So so make sure that if you have accidentals, you are changing your finger position accordingly, back to C sharp on the tape or B natural on the tape, whatever the note information is telling you. Measure 38, lots of hooking. Make sure you get the hang of it and don't let it slow you down, because the entire orchestra, well, violin 2, violin 3, and viola, all have eighth notes here. The cellos and basses are playing quarter notes, so they're still not going to be forgiving. But everybody else has just straight eighth notes here. They're not hooking. So this is a prime spot from 38 to 43 for the orchestra to start pulling apart and getting weird, because the first violins either will let the hooks slow them down, or You could end up rushing the hooked bowing. Just calm down, play eighth notes, lock into all of the eighth notes that are happening around you, and you will be fine. You have the same hooked passage, not the exact same notes, but lots of hooking happening at measure 102 as well. Second violins are with you here. They are playing the exact same notes and they are hooked at 102. So that's like one section out of the orchestra that now is not just playing straight eighth notes for you to lock in with. So now that's double the amount of people that could be rushing or dragging, or God forbid, some people rush and some people drag, and then you've got the violin 3 and violas that are just playing these nice little steady eighth notes. So really practice this hooked bowing. Make sure that you're getting it is really comfortable for you. Also, all of these notes, they're hard notes. There's lots of accidentals here on top of the difficult bowing. So this is a spot to practice before you even start doing the slow practice video. This is one of those to like really highlight in your personal practicing. Measure 60 to forever. Be extremely mindful of accidentals. So I think you can probably play measure 60 until probably at least 75. You're good. Pretty simple accidentals. They're coming at you pretty slowly, not nearly as fast as they were coming in 38. The super important part here is check out, you've got an E flat in measure 80. That's a low fourth finger on the A string. So E's are natural in this piece, but this one is E flat, low fourth finger down here beside your third finger. So it's going to, in measure 79, low 2, regular 3, low 4, 3, low 2. So this is kind of a tricky spot. Make sure that you know exactly where all the notes are from measure 79 onward, because you've got lots of low 2s, but you've got some 1s, first fingers that are on the tape, and you've got other first fingers that are low. You've got some high 2s thrown in. It's crazy. It's moving pretty slow relative to the eighth note hooking passage, but this is still a really important place. Can't read my own handwriting. Be really careful in the bars starting in measure 87 and then starting at 93. You'll see that this is a prime spot. If you just wrote the notes, if you just wrote the letters down, you will be playing this wrong. Because in measure 87 through 92, it's G natural, A natural, B flat. In measure 93, it's G sharp, A natural, B natural. So measure 87, low 2, regular 3, low 4. And then in 93, you've got high 2, G sharp, regular 3, 4 on the tape for B natural in 94. So the stuff at 87 is a half step lower, kind of, than 93. A natural stays the same. But if you just wrote G and B the whole time, you won't get it. You won't be playing the right notes because it's G natural and B flat, and then it's G sharp and B natural. It's a huge harmonic shift for the entire orchestra here. Everybody has this same change, not the same notes, but the same relationship, that it's moving up a half step. So make sure that you are getting that change. And then I already talked about 102, that it's all that crazy hooking stuff. Also, don't play these notes too short. The hooks are gonna be kind of short, but when you start getting the separate eighth notes that are just coming, it's just down, up, down, up, down, up as it comes, make sure that it's not too short, especially at measure 125, 126, this retard. This is something that even professionals professional orchestras will get called out on is that when we slow down, the note length does not stay the same. Which means if you're going da 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 da, unless it's marked to stay super short, when you slow down, you don't want to go da 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 da. Like, it's just really weird to hear pecky notes get slower. It actually helps the overall feel of slowing down if you lengthen the notes as you get slower. So in measure 125, you'd be going along at your normal tempo. Sorry, I think I was overloading my microphone because I have it set for talking, not playing. But as you get slower, go ahead and allow the notes to get longer as well. That is the key to slowing down together, because if everybody's going pop, 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 you can't really feel how much you're slowing down because it's just little points in time. If it's dashes, if it's lines in time, then you can all slow down together. You can feel how much you are slowing down. It'll be much more together. My last note that I cannot read because I have really bad handwriting. The end of this piece should be fine. Just make sure that you play C sharps. That's really important. For those of you playing the top line, somewhere, literally anywhere between 142 and 148, shift to third position. It's A the whole time. So you can easily change anywhere in there from playing A with your third finger to playing A with your first finger. You might want to wait for one of those rests, for a quarter note rest to come along, because then you've got time to shift and you've been hearing the note A, so you know exactly what pitch to shift to. Those of you playing the top line, go ahead and put your second finger down on B natural. That'll give you a framework for where C sharp is, because it is a whole step away from B natural. And then D, high D, is right next to that C sharp. It's right next to your third finger, crunched all in close. If you want to check and make sure you're playing D, you can just play your open D string and make sure that it's the right note. If you're having problems hearing across this 2-octave gap, you remember that third finger on your A string is D. So if third finger on your A string, that we're in third position now, it's your first finger, this is D, and now fourth finger D. So you can make sure that you are playing the right notes. Right now, you're going to have the tendency to have too big of a hand spread up here in third position, because as you go higher on the instrument, your fingers actually get closer together. The intervals get closer together the higher you go. And so when you're in third position, they're just a hair smaller than the hand frame that you normally have in first position. So I would really recommend doing that check-in with your open D string to make sure that you are playing super, super high D correctly. Also, anybody that's playing the top line can just listen to the people playing the bottom line who have no excuse for being out of tune, because you can totally play C sharp and D on your A string. Those are very simple. So whoever plays the bottom line, be sure to play it really loud. Unfortunately, nobody else is playing C sharp and D here at the end. It's just first violins. Everybody else has other notes here, so I can't say, oh, also listen to the violas. Just anybody who's playing the top line, listen to the bottom line players. Bottom line players, really crank it and be super loud here, so that your top line friends don't feel so cruel and naked and exposed and squeaky up there in the super high register. That being said, that's really all I have to talk about for the Beethoven. Check out the slow play along video and the performance tempo playing along video. I'd recommend that you do the slow practice videos at least 3 times, especially for this one. Counting is really difficult. I really recommend that you play along with the other parts. There's violin 2 and violin 3 and viola options to play along with here. So if you want to do the slow practice 4 times, that would be awesome. You play along with your own video once or twice and play along with the other parts, because everybody moves at a different time. So if you can play your part while playing along with the third violin video and make sure that you are not being pulled into their entrances, then you will be super solid when you come back to orchestra. So maybe my policy will be do slow practice 4 times, because that means you can play with the first violin video once, the second violin video once, the viola video, violin 3 video once, and viola video. And then move on to the performance tempo videos, and you can play those however many times you like. So, happy practicing. I will see you in the next video.